Nick Fuentes, right-wing provocateur and catboy, has recently been in a lot more people's mouths because he's been touting around the phrase, your body, my choice. And if you can believe it, a lot of people, especially feminists, not really down for that. Not okay with that language or, that idea at all of violating their bodily autonomy, Nicholas. And so a few of them were so upset that they decided that they should dox Nick Fuentes and maybe give him a piece of their mind in person. And that has resulted in this. This is a Facebook post by a woman named Marla. And I'll just show the pictures for now and then read the post in a sec here. But there is Nick Fuentes, pepper spray in hand, opening the door to Marla. And then this is after her phone has fallen to the ground. A very dramatic picture of Nick staring at the camera. Supposedly he, stomped on it, really tried to break it. But then here, I believe this is afterwards. They took a picture from afar. And then here's another one with the cop walking up to them. And some people have said this on the Kiwi Farms thread that this picture looks a little bit weird, especially here with the feet going on the curb. I can't if it's just like one of those flat curbs. Maybe that makes sense, but it doesn't. It looks like his feet should not be uh, like it doesn't look like that's flat ground that he's on, but it kind of looks like he was taken from somewhere where he was walking on flat ground and just put on there. But obviously, it's not a super high quality photo, so I'm not saying for sure that it is fake or anything. But some people were speculating, and that part looked the weirdest to me out of all the things I saw people say. And maybe kind of with his hand here, he could just have something white in his hand, but it also kind of looks like maybe the background remover tool didn't work that well and they should have gone in there and manually taken a little bit more out. But again, not very high quality picture. But um, Bill Nihilism says someone knocked on Nick's front door and was allegedly pepper sprayed. And they link the Facebook post, but it's been locked down. They did also share an archive of it, which I did take a look at, and it matches this copy paste here, but this is edited to have the actual address out. But I did check. This is what was actually on Marla's Facebook page. Okay, so what would you do if a neo-Nazi white supremacist who called on a holy war against Jews and is loud, proud misogynist lives in your town? You are a Jewish feminist and you know his address. Further, what would you do if friend after friend messaged you with his address and told you that you should pop over since you live in the same town and report what it looks like from outside his home at address? Are there boxes potentially possessing dog poo? Are there boxes potentially possessing used menstrual products? What would you do if it's a Sunday and you've done your work for the day? Pop over there, you would? You're a good friend. You're curious as well. So that is what I did. In a short video, less than 2 minutes from the public property of the sidewalk outside the address, noting that there were no boxes, as I did, a woman pulled up in her car, rolled down her window, and was like, "Is this where the douchebag lives?" Paraphrasing. And I was like, "I think so." And we laughed about his incel ass for a minute. Then she was like, "You should ring his doorbell and see what he has to say for himself." Again, paraphrasing. And I have one serious weakness. It's chocolate. Okay, and I have two. One more relevant for this situation. I cannot back down from anything that even smacks of a dare. So I figured there were no solicitor signs up. Oh, so I figured why not? Usually I just gloss over those, but that is actually part of the sentence there. So I figured why not? There were no solicitor signs, and believe it or not, I would have respected that. Okay. So I rang the doorbell. He immediately swung the door open like he was at damn Waco, sprayed me with a burning liquid, pepper spray, mace, and pushed me down the stairs onto his sidewalk. I rolled into a protective position because I was anticipating kicks or stomps. He grabbed my phone, ran back inside, bolted the door, and shut the blinds. Friends, it is dark in there like a bunker. I have video. I am holding on to that for evidence. The woman in the car, probably feeling shitty for encouraging me to do it, called the cops and made a report. She begged me to get in the car with her because she was scared for my safety, but I wasn't going anywhere. Thanks, mysterious friend, for calling the cops because I obviously did not have a phone. We should get tea and talk about old times. You're also my main witness. Anyway, I gave my full statement to the cop. Fuentes gave one separately and gave no comment as his statement, and the cop called an ambulance to check my eyes after being pepper sprayed. The cop gave me my phone back, which may be damaged after the incel stomped it like Rumpelstiltskin, which is why the pictures are pictures my husband took from my phone, as it's no longer operational. The nice EMTs took my vitals in the ambulance, too. I am a little sore on my right side where I fell, but I'm fine. Nikki, your little pepper spray is as weak as you are. I hate to tell you to invest in a new brand, but I didn't even need eye wash. Anyways, the cop, the EMTs, and my husband all asked, "Why did you ring the doorbell?" kind of incredulously. I don't know. Why not? Again, no soliciting sign, and I was showing off for my new friend. Also, I think threatening women and girls everywhere deserves some kind of an explanation. I want to make it very clear that I'm not whining about being pushed down the steps and pepper sprayed by a 26-year-old who then took possession of and possibly broke my phone. I'm 57 years old and 5'1", so it's kind of funny that he'd have this melodramatic reaction to me, but here we are. I guess them are the breaks when you're despised by about half the country and millions overseas as well. I'd be touchy as well, but then again, I'm not making grape jokes or demeaning bodily autonomy. I don't know if he's done this to others or if I was the tipping point, but Fuentes is a little on edge. So if you want to send Nikki a care package, but we're concerned you might not have the correct address, this is all to say it is confirmed. I have given my husband, he gave me a nice vegan hot chocolate with mini marshmallows. Oh, I have forgiven my husband. He made me some hot chocolate. Fuentes is very frightened little man. Don't ring the doorbell. He's a little on edge. Go figure. Should I file a police report? Yes, I rang his doorbell. Did not hop a fence or anything. But does that merit assault and property damage? Yes, I know the pictures are blurry. Believe me or don't believe me. They are pictures my husband took with his phone camera off my phone because there was no way of sending them otherwise. Please stop telling me to stop by Nick Fuentes' home at address. It makes him feel unsafe when people pop over. Imagine being a proud internet troll and being this scared. Yep, they're all like that. So the reveal towards the end that she's a 57-year-old 5'1" lady. It was pretty great. I enjoyed that. But there's also this comment that she put on her Facebook. Also, the cop actually had the nerve when I asked about pressing charges to say, "For what?" I said, dumbfounded, "For assault." And he was like, "Well, you went to his door." And that got 24 angry and reactions. So here's some people that had some doubts about this stuff. Rodeo Roadrunner said, "Something doesn't look right with the pics. I think this is some weird AI job. If Nick took her phone, how would she have first-person pics of Nick pepper spraying her? Why is there a weird vintage filter on the photos? Why would she not release the video if she is showing pics anyway? The fourth photo with the cop is very strange. Cops look like she is just copy pasted onto the picture. Looks very bizarre." That's what I was talking about. Just his feet look like he's walking on flat ground, but it's on a curb. So I wouldn't think it would be that flat, but it could also be one of the flat curbs or just low quality photo. It looks weird. On different photos, there are watermarks that aren't on the other photos. Second pic has HDR, top left. Third pic has Maria Rose, bottom left. Third photo is blurry for some reason, except for the autism awareness bumper sticker on the car, bottom right. Could just be very strange coincidence, but it just seems like a strange detail in this whole thing. I don't know about that one at all, man, but um as far as if Nick took her phone, the cops gave it back to her. So, unless it was unlocked or something, he was able to delete them. That's how she'd have that weird vintage filter on the photos. I think they're just blurry, and so they look like shit because of that. And then also the phone is cracked, so that's part of why they look like that. And then why not release the video showing the pics anyway? That one I pretty much just agree with. I don't know why you'd be able to release pictures, but not the video. Seems a little bit weird. But I mean, you're not obligated to release the video either. And then yeah, that photo with the cop. Oh, whoops. And then this guy replied to him. The woman that accompanied her called the police, which told Nick to return the phone to Maria. This woman's phone doesn't work properly, so the pics are pics that she took of her phone using her husband's phone, and that's why they look like that. I still find it extremely odd that at the exact same time that you drop by the house of Fuentes, another woman who also wants to meet Fuentes just enters the scene. But I'll let it slide for this time being because it's funnier if this is true. Yeah, that part did sound weird to me. It just seemed a little bit too convenient. But I mean, if it is like a bunch of people, I mean, maybe there's like a Facebook group or something where they're talking about doing this, and um, Marla was acting suspicious or whatever. So, so she got asked that. It did seem a little bit weird. So this guy said he's replying to people that said the cop gave me my phone back, which may be damaged after the incel stomped it like Rumpelstiltskin, which is why the pictures are pictures my husband took from my phone, as it's no longer operational. Yes, I know the pictures are blurry. Believe me or don't believe me, they are pictures my husband took with his phone camera off my phone. This woman's phone doesn't work properly, so if the Munchkin's phone was no longer operational after Nick stomped on it and the cop returned it, how did her husband take screenshots of her phone with his phone? Yeah, I don't really understand how exactly the photo. So it seems like you could still turn the phone on and look at the photos, but you couldn't send them. I don't know. Maybe they just thought that was easier because of how busted the phone was. Mm. Did her husband take out the SD card, do some sort of airdrop, pull it from the cloud backup? How did her husband manage to get multiple screenshots of her non-operational phone with his own phone? If the screen was cracked, why don't we see the artifact in the screenshots of the screenshot? If the phone wouldn't turn on or wouldn't respond, how did her husband change between images to get screenshots of her screen? Yeah, that's not what I'm really getting either. This guy is just arguing that from a purely detached perspective, content spraying insane women from Facebook who show up to harass you at your house is pretty based. Certainly better than cowering inside while hordes of them show up on your doorstep. I would be curious what a self-defense attorney's take on this is, because the way she described it, it made it sound like she didn't intrude into his property, which to my knowledge means he doesn't have the right to assault her and certainly doesn't have the right to rob her of her phone. And then this guy replies, no, you are not allowed to assault random people who knock on your door. And then he says there's been, recent cases of that. And then he goes on, there would be a lot of dead or injured Girl Scouts and Jehovah's Witnesses if that's how the law worked. Basically, even on your property, someone has to be trying to break in or attacking you in order to legally use self-defense. There was a closed door between them which provided him with safety, and he opened it. What he could have done is not answer and have her trespassed if she didn't leave, answer and tell her to go away or he'll have her trespassed, answer and get into a philosophical debate about his views. I think this guy plainly, yeah, put what his options were more or less. Like either ignore it and, call the cops to get her trespassed, or tell her you're going to do that if she doesn't leave, or debate her. Or the Nick went with the fourth option, pepper spray her and kick her down the stairs. Which, I mean, if you're dealing with a 57-year-old 5'1" woman, does make sense. I think that's what everybody would go for in that situation. So then she goes on to say, okay, it is Marla. That other person said Maria and it threw me off, but it is Marla. My post about Mr. Fuentes was taken down by Facebook for posting information that was already being widely shared, but please know I'm not backing down. I am pressing charges. Stay tuned. This is the picture from his wiki page, which should be fine, I suppose. See, that time it's just an emoji. That time it's not part of the sentence. So, Ghost of Guntmas Past says a woman who worked with Fuentes' mom confirms an old story about him shitting his pants. I believe this is the old Reddit post about it that PPP and Godwinson did a video on years ago. So, noted fascist and dumbass Nick Fuentes went to the same high school as me and graduated a couple years after me. In high school, he was a notorious weenie and shit his pants running the mile. If you reply to one of his tweets pointing this out, he'll block you almost immediately. And if you just tweet it yourself without even tagging him, he might too, because he searches his name like crazy. But he wasn't a fash in high school at all. He started being a MAGA guy because, in his own words, it was profitable. So after he graduated, everyone he knew lost all respect for him and wouldn't talk to him. So one Christmas break, he bought a massive amount of weed and offered to smoke people out, and everyone said no. So he went on this huge, now deleted Twitter rant at 6 a.m. Christmas Day, going on about how marijuana is the devil and makes you a communist or whatever. And people replied to it with screenshots of him texting them offering to smoke them out. He enrolled at Boston University to, in his own words, engage liberals at one of the most left-wing schools in America in political debate. He got in because of legacy admissions and a legacy student scholarship, and then dropped out after, shocker, no one would talk to him because he was a virulent fascist. Then he tried to attend Auburn, but they rescinded his admission after learning he was at Charlottesville. Now his parents bankroll him, and he spends his free time fighting with the church across the street from his parents' house over their decision to fly a pride flag. Just wanted to share how pathetic this dude is. So no real confirmation that that person actually is who they say they are, but it's funny, all right? This is not supposed to be a factual history show or anything like that. We're just pretty much just going through the Kiwi thread after this happened. So this is the woman that supposedly worked with Nick Fuentes' mom.
Hello, my name's Joy, and believe it or not, I work with Melissa Fuentes. That's Nick Fuentes' mother, the Your Body, My Choice kid, for 6 years at LaGrange Park, Illinois. And man, do I gotta get some things off my chest. Lauren still works at the place, so I won't drop where we worked at, but I do know that Nick has a twin sister named Melissa, and she is Lauren's pride and joy. She is the twin of Nick, believe it or not, and the one that came out well. Melissa and Nick both went to Lyons Township High School, and Melissa flourished where Nick did.
One of my favorite parts of these dramas, like with Nick Rekieta just getting absolutely trounced by some random aunt from Minnesota, and just, this woman also looks like some random aunt talking shit and sort of confirming rumors that Nick Fuentes shits his pants. Like, to me, that's just one of the best parts, is when people like this are getting involved in making fun of these people.
Not. In fact, he was called many times into the office where Lauren had to leave work and I had to cover Lauren because of Nick's shenanigans. But I really think the hatred from women started with his mother and his sister because he wasn't included. He was not a good kid. He was called into the office constantly, shit his pants even at school. It was almost like he did it purposely. So Lauren had to leave work.
She says he shit his pants so many times it had to be purposefully. I mean, that is excessive. If people are thinking it's a tactic of yours, that means you're doing it a lot.
And go get her son. And it was rough. It was very rough. I felt bad for Lauren at the time. But now that I think about it, she needed to get that kid help then, because it was clear that he was struggling with some mental issues back then.
Oh no, most kids poop their pants all the way through high school. Oh, Jesus.
After Lauren's mother, so that's Nick Fuentes' grandmother, died, Lauren decided to make Nick go live in Berwyn into that house. That's the one that got doxxed and the one that got leaked. But right now he is in LaGrange with his mother in the basement again, which she is not happy about at all. Anyway,
Oh, and she gets such a kick out of it too. Oh, it's just so funny. Like Nick Fuentes, you're getting utterly decimated by this rant. But
I think this story, if your teen son is not starting to act right, is getting called into the office, I think we should do more therapy. I think we should prevent ourselves from becoming Lauren Fuentes and making a son like Nick Fuentes, because honestly, it was an epic fail on her part. And I wish I helped her more in realizing that he needs help. So Lauren, if you hear me, please get him some therapy. Bye.
epic fail, Miss Fuentes. So Nick responded to people bringing up the pants cheating allegation. I don't know whether this is the first time Nick ever responded to such allegation. And so I think some random fan tweets out an acquaintance of Nick Fuentes' mom posted a video up on TikTok that she soon deleted, but it got grabbed. It explains a lot. And that's that one that we read here. And Nick replies, "My mom has never seen this person before in her life. How insane do you have to be to film yourself and make up a story like this? Total mental illness. I was president of student council, general secretary of, was that like mock United Nations or something like that, maybe? Speech team, captain, marching band, keep dreaming, leftist scum." It says, through student council, I have learned that the right decisions are not the easiest decisions, President Nicholas Fuentes, 16, said. It takes courage to recognize the bad existing trends, analyze them, and turn them around. That takes will and courage. And future president Nick Fuentes and the girl that they voted to be future president, I think that's what that is. It would be funny if I ratioed Poopy Pants Nick. Oh, that's Merrick. I think that's one of the red-headed booby streamers on Twitch, I think. Okay, and she's just responding to one of his hateful tweets. And then he responds to one of her tweets where she says, "I wish I wasn't ugly," over and over again, and he replies, "This you?" Nice. Some mutual ownage by two just fellow cool people. So Big Bad Null, the owner of Kiwi Farms, comes in and he replies to somebody asking, "Why would the feds employ this goblino?" Because he's already successful. Same reason they compromise everyone they do. It's not strategic based on theoretical goals, but rather practical based on opportunity and existing capabilities. Not only is Fuentes popular in a general sense, but he's also got an unusually dedicated and organized group of boy simps that hang on to his every word, excuses every shortcoming as either Jewish liberal journalist talking points or 4D chess moves, and genuinely seem to believe that he alone is the voice that can save America, despite his every move and action positing that he is the opposite. It basically just comes down to hating women the hardest. It's really fucking easy to find an audience if you just openly hate women. Dick Masterson's 25K a month Patreon, Coach Red Pill's million subscriber YouTube channel, Tate's sex slavery porn studio somehow becoming a conservative cause, even content aggregators like iHypocrite can get hundreds of thousands of followers just posting fake green text from 4chan where the moral of the story is women bad, especially white women bad. He is married with children and is going to sit around and pretend that women's continuous work making a home is the same as a guy picking up his own socks. He knows what he's promoting is stupid and wrong, and he does it anyways because it gets him followers and gets him money. It's literally that simple. You have a generation of young, sexless males propping up an upper stratum of mindless race treason for clicks, and it doesn't matter if you're a hideous brown Muslim rapist like Andrew Tate or a flamboyant federal informant like Nick Fuentes. White women bad is the secret sauce for easy money. And yeah, so this is something that iHypocrite guy who is what did he say? He was married with children, and he's tweeting out stuff like this. "I live as a single guy, and women complaining about a housewife's work is ridiculous. My food is cooked in 10 to 15 minutes, meat or eggs in a pan. Bed is done in 1 to 2 minutes. Clothes are done by the washing machine. The only thing that requires some work is cleaning the floor and the bathroom, which still is only about 1 to 2 hours. I get it all done with ease while working a normal job. Women in the media are such massive F-slur gaslighters. A housewife's work is like going on vacation for the average man. So yeah, that is pretty lame to be tweeting out what do they call this? Green text posts like that if you are married with children. I would feel very weird. Well, I mean, if I have a Chris wife, I'd already feel very, very weird about that arrangement. But that would make it feel even weirder if it's like, oh, so he doesn't even he like acts like he has zero respect for me online. Huh. Huh. So Sneeder Griffin says this whole situation is hilarious. With one simple meme, a play of the phrase "my body, my choice," Nick has single-handedly caused so much seethe among millions of feminists and liberals that they are resorting to doxing him, sending him used tampons, and threatening him at his house. Even Null, white knight simp that he is, couldn't resist throwing a Cheeto-dusted fedora into the ring, going on a long screed wishing death on Nick for creating this meme in an attempt to get a crumb of land whale beauty parlor. Oof. If anyone else did this, we would be carrying them on our shoulders for delivering such nuclear level seethe among liberals and danger hairs. I don't know about that one. Maybe I just said something awful. I honestly don't know. And with just 4 words. Instead, Kiwi Farms is not only shaming Nick, but saying that he deserves to be harassed and should have his career and life destroyed because he dared to make a joke on his show. Fuck freedom of speech, huh? And sexy Potu replies, you don't beat the leftists by being the ridiculously evil monster they think you are. If Trump said, I will reopen Auschwitz and kill every homosexual and convert women into breeding slaves, he wouldn't have been reelected. He would have been killed by an angry mob firebombing Mar-a-Lago. If Null actually tried to murder trans people, the site would have been seized by the FBI years ago. The only thing this gay catboy lover is doing is convincing hysterical leftists that they are correct and making moderates question if voting Trump was a good choice. This is not helping. And I kind of included these just because, especially if you don't use Kiwi Farms or whatever, I feel like this kind of goes against a lot of people's conceptions of the culture on Kiwi Farms. A lot of the people on Kiwi Farms absolutely hate Nick Fuentes. I- if you're not at all familiar with Kiwi Farms, you might not know that. But and sexual chocolate just says, I'm pretty sure that wasn't pepper spray, and he includes a picture of Fermilab's Attract Men for gay men, human sex pheromones body spray, all day attraction scent. And I think that's pretty much the whole story there, but we also have Milo here.
Why are you doing this? Why are you running up to Nick Fuentes' front door, knocking on the door, trying to get in, when you know his back door always open?
I think that's a good note to go to. I mean, I'll run it back one more time.
Why are you doing this? Why are you running up to Nick Fuentes' front door, knocking on the door, trying to get in, when you know his back door always open?
It's not necessary, yeah. Yeah, that's the story. I don't know necessarily how true any of that is, but I did think it was funny.